All right, so today we are still working with Pythagorean theorem. I know. It's like a lot of stuff with it, but I want to make sure that we hit it all because it's so important and there's so much that goes along with it. So it says, graph the ordered pairs 3, 0, and 7, -5. So we find 3 on the x-axis, 0 on the y-axis, so our first point is right there. We find 7 on the x-axis, -5 on the y-axis, and where they meet is right here. So if you were to draw a line, right, to get from this point to this point, that's the quickest way, right? That straight diagonal. We can actually find that distance, but we have to do a little bit of work beforehand. So remember when we did slope and you created those triangles and you did an awesome job creating those triangles? We're going to use those triangles again. So what I want you to do is create the triangle, that right triangle that follows those gray lines left to right, connecting those 2 points. Okay? Again, if you look, now you have a right triangle. So from the corner to this point, from the corner to this point, how many boxes is it up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me make this a little bit bigger, that way you can see it now that it's gone. It's done. Alrighty. And then here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Excuse me. Alrighty, so what we are now going to do is, obviously this is our right angle, so across from that is our hypotenuse, right? So we always use a squared plus b squared equals c squared, so let's start there. We have 2 legs when we're finding distance. Pretty much all the time. There may be a few times that you don't for some weird reason, but maybe you do. So 5 is one of our legs, 4 is another one of our legs. 5 squared is 25, 4 squared is 16, and then we have c squared. 25 plus 16 is what? 41. So if you add those together, if you take the square root of 41, what do you get? We round to the nearest tenth like we've been doing. 6.4 units. 6.4 units. All right. So that's all we're doing. So if we look at the second one, first we're going to graph the 2 points. So we have -6, +6. And we have +1, -4. Okay? Again, it's going to be a long distance, right? But it'll work. And then, just like when we did slope, connect the 2 dots, make that triangle. It may not be perfect. You may have gone a little bit over and you just may need to come back through and maybe a different color, or if you are using pencil, you could use pen, so on and so forth, okay? So now remember, we need to count. So up and down, you should have 10. Left to right, you should have 7. Up and down, you should have 10. Left to right, you should have 7. All right? So from there, we are again going to do our Pythagorean theorem. So I have my 2 legs. Each of those are squared. And they're going to equal that hypotenuse squared. 10 squared is 100. 7 squared is 49. equals c squared. Oopsies. 100 plus 49 is 149. Take that square root of both sides. And we get 12.2 if we round. All right. So if you're given points, you just need to put them on the coordinate grid, create that right triangle like we did with slope, right, to do rise over run, kind of the same thoughts. And from there, use Pythagorean theorem. So on the next ones, we're going to need to know how to use a compass rose. So if you look at the top right corner of your paper, you see something that's been kind of cut off. So it is north and then south, east and west. I just want to make sure that we kind of have the compass rose. So we'll just put Emma right here. That way we know where she starts. So she went north, which is up, 12 miles. Then she went east, 6 miles. So if I want to get, if Emma is here and she wants to get back where she started, we just kind of connect these, right? And make our right triangle. I know, right? Crazy. So we have 2 legs again. 12 squared plus 6 squared equals that distance squared. 12 squared is 144. 6 squared is 36 equals c squared. What is 144 plus 36? 180. And if you take that square root, you do in fact get 13.4. Whoop, whoop. Okay, so that's if you have word problems talking about north, south, east, and west. Just kind of use this, okay? Last one on that front page. Josh went, let's start with Josh. He went south 8 miles. Then he went west 2 miles. Okay, so just like before, Josh is here now. He wants to get back to his original location. So if we cut straight across, right, we have 8 squared plus 2 squared equals c squared. 8 squared is 64. 2 squared is 4. And then we have c squared. So we have 68 equals c squared. And if we take the square root of both sides, what do we get? 8.2. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay. From here to here is 8.2 miles. All right, and that's everything for the first page. Now we're going to look at the second page.